Julayev looks to defend his title. But first, bronze medal matches. Let's start with the United States and Georgia. For the U.S., it's the two-time world and Rio Olympic champion Kyle SNYDER, matched up against Georgia's Elisbar ODIKADZE. ODIKADZE finally breaking through in 2018. He captured his first world medal after finishing in 5th place at the previous 4 world and Olympic meets. So ODIKADZE trying to get back onto that podium after near misses for the 2nd straight year. The question for Kyle SNYDER is, how does he recover from last night's heartbreaker in the semifinals? We'll soon find out early in this match.
Yeah, there's one thing you know about Kyle SNYDER is that he's got no quit in him. He's going to come after him. But, you know, he and ODIKADZE have had some battles in the past. This is no easy feat. You know, a former world medalist himself, Kyle SNYDER and ODIKADZE. This is a war. And ODIKADZE had a war in the repechage to get here against the Korean and came through, and this is going to be a battle.
SNYDER for the United States, ODIKADZE for Georgia, and we're underway in the bronze medal match, and immediately SNYDER is in on that leg. So SNYDER not wasting any time. No points yet. He'll drive toward the boundary and go out of bounds for 1.
You know, I would have loved to have seen him look to score for 2 there, but if you're asking how he's going to recover, he recovered right away by going for his attack. You know, that's really great to see from Kyle SNYDER. And what we know about Kyle SNYDER is that his pace is on par with the best in the world, maybe if not the best in the world in terms of pace. From the first second to the last second, he's going to be putting the hammer down, putting the foot to the pedal.
A lot of the American media was asking SNYDER prior to this week, are you nervous? Do you still get nervous before matches, even though you've wrestled in some of the biggest ones in your career? As he comes right in again on ODIKADZE, and he kind of chuckled, said, no, you know, I don't get nervous anymore. Last time I was nervous, maybe my freshman year at Ohio State, or maybe that first U.S. Open. But no, a match is a match.
It was funny, I was at a press conference for him one time, and one of the interviewers asked him, what music do you listen to before you go out to compete? And he said, I don't listen to any music. He said, does a lion listen to music before he hunts? I thought it was one of the greatest. I told my team that, and they were like, well, we're not listening to music anymore. His pace is good.
Sometimes the hunter does before he gets a lion, though.
That's true. That's true. And this could pay also, this 5 points between 3rd and 5th place can make a big difference in team scores in this tournament as well.
Yeah, the United States just missed out on Graf winning a bronze. They pick up the gold with Dake. And now SNYDER trying to get the silver. And you talk about the pace. He comes right in, has the lace, and then it's disengaged by ODIKADZE. Boy, he was in some discomfort there for a moment. I thought maybe Kyle SNYDER might get a roll.
In transitional wrestling, Kyle SNYDER was able to snap ODIKADZE's hand to the mat, and on the way up, he just blasted like a spring into ODIKADZE and knocked him to his butt. Beautiful textbook attack by Kyle SNYDER. He's really being offensive in this match. He's got something to prove, I think, or he feels like he's got something to prove.
Inside a minute to go in this first period, SNYDER of the U.S. with a 3-0 lead. Entered the top-ranked wrestler to these world championships after capturing the Pan Am Championship, the Kolov, and the Daegu. Was really on a roll until last night's semifinal loss. Now ODIKADZE for the first time on a shot, but there's the quick counter by SNYDER coming around the backside. Looking for a possible trip, now drops into the leg. ODIKADZE turns and separates. Good work both ways there.
Absolutely. And you know, Kyle SNYDER obviously didn't want to drive straight in and get himself in trouble to give up points there. So was a little bit conservative on that finish, but you can see why. ODIKADZE's hips are super strong. But his pace in this first period is going to pay dividends in that second period as we move to the break.
Solid start for the United States. SNYDER out to a 3-0 lead over Elisbar ODIKADZE of Georgia. SNYDER, let's listen into the conversation in the corner.
Hey, that's the movement. Make sure every time he comes over tie, you drop it. You can over tie him on your good side. more, but keep swiping from the open. Okay. Swiping. Doing great.
And that's a newly crowned Olympic bronze medalist after some disqualifications. Tervel Delagnev, one of the coaches for Ohio State and that Ohio Regional Training Center. Also in the corner, Joe Russell from the United States. But if you heard what he was saying, if ODIKADZE is coming with that over tie, he's going to slip his hand down to look for his attacks. ODIKADZE looking for that quick shot at the beginning. Kyle Snyder able to move around in a roundabout way.
Snyder again comes in shooting. ODIKADZE able to stand him back up. Trying to keep that underhook from getting into position, the right arm of Snyder. Both wrestlers slowly working their way all the way up, and now into a stand-up. 2:25 and counting, final period. First of 2 bronze medal matches, the U.S. on top.
Scary that United States, their 2 non-Olympic weight classes had world champions in Jaden Cox and in Kyle Dake. And it's really going to be interesting to see where Jaden Cox goes, where Kyle Dake goes in the Olympic movement next year.
Where do you anticipate Cox going if you had to make a bet right now at this moment?
If I had to make a bet at this moment, I see him going down and wrestling against David Taylor. But he actually, in an interview last night, said to the fans, where do you want me to go? Do you want me to go wrestle 2 of the best in, Kyle Snyder and Abdul Rashid Sajalayev, or do you want me to go down and wrestle world champ David Taylor and see where I am there? So he kind of got a little unlike Jaden Cox last night with his confidence.
What's he going to do, take a Twitter poll?
Yeah.
In this day and age?
Know. And, Georgia asking for passivity. ODIKADZE took off on 2 or 3 shots, and Kyle Snyder didn't shoot back, so now they're asking for passivity. He's going to need to have at least another takedown, I would say, to break ODIKADZE's spirit here. But right now, feet to back, 1 move, ODIKADZE could win this bout, so he's going to need to score here, or at least get on his motion in and out, top to bottom, side to side, and not stay right in front of ODIKADZE. And you can hear Tervel Delagnev saying, move your feet, Kyle. ODIKADZE's down in that little squat position. I can imagine that ODIKADZE and Petrashvili have some battles in the room in Georgia. Nice pass by Snyder. He's grounded on his knees. ODIKADZE looking for a chest lock position, trying to score here, but no exposure. Ankles crossed on Snyder. ODIKADZE.
Scramble sequence toward the end of this period, and Snyder's close to coming out in between the legs there, and he ends up with a bronze medal. Kyle Snyder of the U.S. will get too late as he was able to establish control, and Snyder with a nice bounce-back performance takes out Georgia's ODIKADZE, a final of 5-0.
Excellent performance by Kyle Snyder. He started his attacks early and often, got Elizabeth ODIKADZE off of his game,